my audiobooks on YouTube. So if anybody's interested in the Avatar Path new audiobook I just released today, it's going to be available. Premiere is going to be at 3:33 p.m. And this is Nashville time, Tennessee. What's going on? Hey, good to see you. How you
Good to see you too. So yeah, I was watching the Tibetan monks and the ancient Himalaya mantra chanting.
What'd you think?
It's good. It's good to chant. It's good meditative practice, or it opens your throat chakra, or whatever it does for you. Good meditative practice. There's a cat for confirmation.
Did you watch on TikTok?
No, I have it on my TV. I actually just turned my electronics on, and you were the first message that I got.
Nice. So we're talking about Tibetan monks and meditation. Yeah, so the Tibetan monks, one of my yogis that I learned Vipassana meditation from in Burr Ridge, Illinois, Ajahn Tapakorn, he taught me meditation, Vipassana, among a couple of other teachers that I had, and he's the one that looked me in the eye and said, start a YouTube channel. And I really didn't know what he meant at the time. So in your experience, would you like to begin? What do you like about the meditation or the Tibetan culture or the Eastern culture?
That's a really good question. So yeah, I was having a really hard time actually getting into meditation, and you and I have talked about the Vipassana meditation for a long time, and I also was encouraged to do that by one of my teachers. And we've spoken about this before, that I move really fast and I have a difficult time getting into that type of meditation. So I think the humming, the singing, the chanting is something that maybe gets me away from my distraction, if that makes sense. It's something to get me away from my distraction or focus. And I like to do it with a candle flame too.
Me too. I love staring at the candle when I meditate. I'm the same.
Yeah. We're distracting ourselves with a focus, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's supposed to help open your pineal gland, decalcify if you stare into a candle or a bonfire. So this is helping with pineal gland decalcification. And also, you can feel a pressure in your forehead area where your pineal gland is supposed to be. And you can feel spirit connecting. You can feel energies, right?
So also I want to say, for me personally, but I think this is for everybody, I was deeply working on healing my throat chakra, because I'd been intubated and trached there. And so I had started watching some videos with, like Osho, I think I started out with. And so, I'd also been guided to learn Qigong, and the Vipassana meditation kind of went hand in hand with that. So yeah, it's just been a learning process. And so now I just love it. And so, the monks were walking for peace, and that just drew me to it even more.
Yeah.
Right. Beauty, walking. Yeah. That just drew me to it even more. It was just like a really beautiful journey. Yeah. Cause they had the dog with them, and I was just like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, the Walk for Peace. For those of you guys who don't know what the Walk for Peace was, there were several monks that journeyed from Texas to Washington, D.C. To promote peace. It's called the Peace Walk. The Walk for Peace is an international peace walk and Buddhist pilgrimage initiated in 2025 by Theravada Buddhist monks from the Huang Dao Vipassana Bhavana Center in Fort Worth, Texas, under the guidance of Bhikkhu Panakara. The movement aims to promote global harmony, nonviolence, and mindfulness, rooted in the ascetic practice of Dutanga and the belief that peace begins with oneself. So, very interestingly, you brought this up, and we're talking about Vipassana meditation. So, this is from the Vipassana Meditation Center in Fort Worth, Texas. And so the inaugural journey covered 2,300 miles across the U.S. states, traveling from Fort Wayne to Washington for 8 days. So they started in October 26, 2025, and they went to February 10th, 2026, led by approximately 15 to 24 monks and accompanied by a rescue dog named Aloka. Roughly 20 to 23 miles per day without political slogans, focusing instead on silent mindfulness and interfaith engagement. Following the U.S. leg, the movement expanded internationally in April 2026, with monks walking from Sri Lanka, from Dambulla to Colombo, receiving official patronage. The walk has gained significant media attention, including the Courage Project Award for Bhikkhu Panakara, and serves as a living experiment in compassion, inviting public reflection rather than demanding political change. And so this is taken from Brave, Brave.com. Yeah. Go ahead, Kimberly.
So here's a little side story. I had mentioned that my teacher had been encouraging me to, just take it slow, to learn the Vipassana meditation. And so every year the monks come to visit here at Lilydale, which is where my teachers were. And then, so I had been contemplating this, and I knew that they came here every year to my area. And then I actually was driving, and I passed the monks going over the bridge to the island where I live. And so I just kept feeling like these were signs from spirit for me to keep trying to do this meditation. And so, if you place your hand over your heart, that just kind of made it more proficient for me to keep sitting outside and to be humming those chants. And so I actually passed them walking, going over the bridge by where I lived, and it kind of inspired me to keep working at doing the meditation more.
Nature always inspires me to get back into going within and meditating.
Yeah.
I went to a 10-day meditation course, and I meditated for 10 hours a day for 10 days, and I changed my life. My own father didn't even recognize me when I came back home the same day I left the meditation center, and my consciousness changed. And since then, first week of April 2016, I've been spreading the word of consciousness and Vipassana meditation and teaching whoever is interested.
So tell me, how did you feel while you were doing that for that many hours a day?
It was one of the hardest things I've ever did in my life. Unbelievable. But as we reflect and we look back at the hardest things in our life, those are also the greatest lessons and changes that we've had. We can look back and we can see through our struggles and adverse situations how much we grew from those bad times. So I want that this was something that I prepared for, but I did not know what I was about to embark on. I didn't even know what meditation was when I went to the 10-day. My friend Perry from India said, I know what you need, because I didn't even want to be around it anymore. This is back in January or February of 2016. And I was dealing with a lot of stress, anxiety. I was a truck driver driving a semi, and I had been dealing with a lot of anger issues for a long time, still do, temper and anger issue. And also I've been dealing with a lot of stress, anxiety, and depression. And so I decided to try meditation instead of going to see a psychotherapist or a psychologist, or instead of going to big pharma. I decided to try something different and new, because I tried medication, I tried everything else. I tried dieting. I tried mindfulness, health coaching. Like self-help coaching when that first started, 20, 30 years ago. And so I decided I needed something more extreme. So I decided to leave for 10 days, and I meditated for 10 hours a day for 10 days in the last week of March 2016. And it changed my life. Remember, we're receivers and projectors. So if you want to change your external reality, because your external is your mirrored reflection, right, of what's going on inside of you, you have to change your internal reality. So what happened in that 10 days was so profound that I'm still learning about it 10 years later. Okay? So this would be like a gist of it, Kimberly. How did I feel? One of the hardest things I've ever done, and also one of the best things I've ever done for myself. I raised my consciousness, I raised my Kundalini energies from my root, and I became blissful. Eliminated my anxiety, depression. Since then, I've been dabbling in blissful states here and there when I'm on my own. And people, even when I'm in public, people think I'm nuts because I'm so happy and smiling, and I appreciate nature so much, and you appreciate people so much, but they don't understand your frequency. So they just look at you like you're crazy, right? So this is definitely something I would recommend for healing. Yeah.
Yeah, because we understand that the monastic practice, the monks, they're raised like this from children, so to speak. When people use, like in the Western world, like the chosen ones, they're raised like this from children, like often in the mountains or, wherever they may be. And they have a very distinct practice of how they eat, burning incense, their daily chores, how their lifestyle is. So it'd be very different for us just to walk into this practice, right? To be eliminating food, to our daily, prayer practice, how we sit, how we speak, or how we do not speak at all, right? To keep going forward with that. So you went in full bore, for 10 hours a day with no speaking, with no food, with your prayer. And so you're literally sweating things out of your cells that have been held there in your DNA code. This is your mission and your purpose, like literally. And as especially for those of us in America that have been raised with very much different belief systems, right? So this practice literally is life-changing, right?
Totally. I would love to dive into the more informative information because, like I said, 10 years have gone by and I still don't know what happened. So as far as anything dealing with DNA and the cells, that's what we're here. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole reason for Conscious Endeavors is to talk about what happens during this change of consciousness in the human. Because everybody has their own bubble of consciousness that they live in. And if you're suffering because of your lower frequency energies, the whole point is to ascend and to get out of there, right? It's to raise your frequency, raise your consciousness, ascend out of your hell into your heaven. And the way that we do this is through meditation, through going within. Yet, there's a lot of people that don't believe in meditation yet. They don't even know what it is. And I might add, yes, I will add for the recording because we're live. I will add that, yes, I did do the 9-day Asian Noble Silence along with that 10-day meditation. And that selfish act is designed specifically so one can go within to deconstruct the mindset and understand where the person is coming from, right? So we can focus. So we're not having the daily distractions, and so we can go within. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's all around you. You just have to awaken, right? And so this is how we awaken, through the meditation, through the ascension.
Yeah, there's some really good points to make that, their belief system is like on loving kindness and compassion, about themselves. They believe in the one. There's a lot of things to be said. Like, I really highly recognize that, doctors will go places to, help people heal. And, oftentimes, like, they might get the germs and get sick or get the diseases of the people that they are helping. But when monks go to help people, they don't get the diseases. They don't get sick. This is like, there's evidence of this. This has been proven. They walk these miles just like they did their walk for peace. And, the joy follows them. They live on the basis of loving kindness and compassion. So they did a study where they said that they were just going to concentrate every day for 15 minutes on no crime in the area. And, crime went down by like 50 to 70% just by concentrating on that for 15 minutes a day. So keep going, though, with this, because I love these conversations.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because there are several stories, if you'd like to look them up, of groups that meditated for peace all across the world, and it works. There's something very significant about meditation, and as Tesla said, once we realize and understand, and once we start to study non-physical properties, we're going to make more of a jump within 10 years than in all of history. And what we're doing essentially is we're talking about metaphysics. This is metaphysical science, right? And so what we're doing is we're transmuting negative energy to love and creation. This is transmutation through meditation, going within. The job is to transmute the negative energy to love and creation. That's what we're here to learn how to do, among many other things on planet Earth. We're here as a school. Earth is a school. Earth is a school, and we're here to learn about energies. We're here to learn about consciousness. We're here to learn how to manifest and create, how to become the avatar. We're here to learn many things. Okay, so what we're essentially talking about now is the avatar path, because, we released the book, the audiobook on YouTube. So if anybody's interested, please check out the audiobook on the avatar path. And I like that we incorporated Vipassana meditation and the monks in this episode.
We're living in harmony with all of existence. I think it's a great start for your YouTube channel. This is perfect.
So thank you for joining. Conscious Endeavors, each one teaches one, each one leads one. I'm with Kimberly Petku, and that's my buddy.
Thank you for having me, Mystic.
Buffalo, New York. Kimberly's from here, and we're talking about consciousness, awakening. We're talking about the Avatar Path. We're talking about the Peace Walk with the Buddhist monks from the Fort Wayne Vipassana Meditation Center. And so, Fort Worth, Texas. In talking about Vipassana meditation, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but it's also one of the best things that I've ever done. And we're probably going to have many episodes talking about my experience. And the whole reason for Conscious Endeavors I started in November 2019 on YouTube was to bring awareness and to talk about my journey and my experience, my personal experience, what I've gone through, my opinion verbatim. I have everything digitally recorded. I literally took everyone on a journey through my awakening. And that's what Conscious Endeavors is all about. And the reason I started in November 2019 is because I knew that a lot of people were going to start waking up. And so I got a memo from Source. So that's what we're doing. It took a few years to figure out my trajectory and what I should do. Sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out what you want to do. But I think that we got something here, and I think I want to try to harness them in recordings. Because we've had some really awesome episodes here, ain't it?
Yeah, I want to say, like, you did a really beautiful meditation with your music, and everybody's going to have their own experience, like during meditation, or it should just bring you. I shouldn't use the word should. It's going to bring you to your own experience, and if we bring it to silence or into the celestial observatory, the sacred Himalayan mantras. I encourage everybody to explore what it's going to bring within to themselves. The chanting or not into the silence. It's going to help everybody, bring what they need to find into themselves or to dissolve the weight of whatever. Jonathan has some really beautiful music. And so, like, when we do that meditation, everybody's going to find what they need to find for themselves. And I think that's just a really beautiful thing.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Yeah, if you want to check out the Conscious Endeavors meditations by Mystic Janusz, go to Conscious Endeavors on YouTube, and you're probably already here. If not here, TikTok and or another social media platform like Facebook, and search Rise of the Divine Feminine, Andro, and Transcendence if you want to check out the hour-long meditations. Thanks so much for the good words, Kimberly. I appreciate you for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's life transforming and healing. And like I said, 10 years later, I'm still trying to figure out what happened. And, you mentioned it.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Yeah, right. I think and I'm not the only one because I think for the rest of my career, I think my career is going to be solely based on just explaining this thing, what happened, right? And there's no words and language for this yet, especially in the West. There is in the East, but I like to think that I'm somewhat responsible for bringing some of those teachings from the East here in the West, especially teaching Vipassana meditation. After S.N. Goenka passed away in 2014, I started in 2016 with what I knew. I didn't know what I was doing yet. I didn't have a temple yet, but I was trying to spread awareness and consciousness about it. And I was like a walking billboard. I was telling everybody about this since April 2016 because this is so life transformative and life changing that, like Goenka said, once one realizes the truth, the way in the life, then they teach the truth, the way in the life, because there is no more important thing. And I think the individual then realizes, oh my gosh, this is like really, literally the most important thing in life. Even more than chasing money. And
don't chase.
Once the person realizes that, say again?
I said, don't chase.
Yeah, right. Don't chase. Attract, right? Thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great advice. I have to take that advice sometimes. We all.
I'm always going to say that positive action is going to change our lives, but yeah. I was really drawn to, like, while you were speaking, I was like, oh, the lotus, right? No mud, no lotus. But yeah, I love a lot of that stuff. So we have a lot of things that we can talk about in the coming weeks, right? Spring is here. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, new energies here, April 1st. We're talking about, this might be a good thing to talk about, some of these new energies and portals that are opening, and energies that we haven't seen in thousands of years on planet Earth, and the Schumann resonance. We've been talking a lot about this last couple of weeks. It's like physically you can feel it, ain't it?
Yeah, it was off the charts yesterday. Super exciting. I think it's going to be like that every day coming forward.
I hope so. Do you want to talk about the energies and what people have been talking about?
Well, we've had planetary alignments that have been happening for the first time in our lifetime. So we're not just like in the 27,000 year shift, but like, we're in a 19-year shift, a 7-year shift, and that's individual for everybody, So like we're in so much positivity. It's like just an amazing thing.
Yeah, can you elaborate a little? Because this is not really my world, astrology, so please elaborate.
Well, we've just been having so many beautiful things happen. And I don't want to always hang my hat on astrology, but I love it just because, I grew up looking at the stars and sailing. I feel like, okay, if we're going to talk about the mud, we are the mud between the stars. And so like if we're growing our lotus out of the mud, I think that's a beautiful way to say it. And I love to look at the stars. So like if you find a person that has a belief system, create your system around yourself. And I think that's the best thing I could say, to work on ourselves. pour the waterfall into yourself on all levels. I think that's the most beautiful way to put it today.
So yeah, 27,000 years. I am hearing 30,000 years to 50,000 years. There's energies here that are on Earth that haven't been here in almost 30 and over 30,000 years. What is this? What's happening? Do you want to talk about the solar flares and the DNA upgrades?
Oh, yeah. Well, the solar flares are definitely giving us DNA upgrades, and we're turning from the carbon into the crystalline matter. So like, when we talk about the lotus, there's 32 petals. So when we're moving from 12 to 24 to 32 strands of the DNA upgrades, that's like a whole other show, buddy. Yeah. That's particularly true when someone is facing, if they've never made plans to be healthy, and things are always like the goals of the mind, and we're switching from left brain to right brain. That's the integrations that we're going through. So like if we put the imprint into ourselves, everybody's upgrading. They, it's all in their own understanding of what their abundance is.
Mm-hmm. Right? A lot of upgrades happening. People are saying that they're even feeling physical changes in their collarbones and their shoulders and their bodies. They're seeing on their bodies physical changes and things that they've never seen before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so what happens is essentially what happens is we get solar upgrades from the sun, which in turn affects our DNA. And then when it changes our DNA, when we get our upgrades, that literally changes our body chemistry, our physique. It changes our DNA structure, okay? And what's going on is, like Kimberly just said earlier, we're morphing from being carbon-based to crystalline-based beings. So we're literally becoming new beings. We're not even going to be human anymore. It's going to be something else. So luminous, is that what they were calling it? Luminary beings, luminous beings. And so we're changing.
Yeah, I don't ever want to go back and forth on things that I say to people, because I want people to recognize like we're this beautiful light being. And it's like we're not necessarily our bodies, we are this light being. But to take care of our bodies while we are on this earth plane, right? So, to understand that, take care of this vessel to obtain our goals, like while we're here. Because everything is like really super beautiful here. Like we should understand that our statements is everything of what we think, say, create, and do. I feel like, there's been so much focus, on the projection of what's going on with these bodies. You know what I'm saying? We have permission to be everything that we want to be without the programming and the indoctrination. So we have to understand the initiation of everything that we want to be. Like everything is always happening for us, even when we don't recognize it yet.